Welcome to the SALP Leadership Training for Forming Student Organizations. After completing this training, you should be able to articulate the characteristics that distinguish forming groups from other SALP groups, know what steps you must complete to move from a forming to recognition status at Portland State, understand the role of your SALP advisor, have a better understanding about the resources available to your group through SALP, and you should be able to identify possible avenues for funding from sources within and outside of Portland State. The Student Organization Application and Recognition, also known as the SOAR process, is in place to officially recognize student organizations for the following school year, collect contact information for each group, and ensure groups met their responsibilities. The SOAR application process occurs at the end of winter term, and the review process occurs at the beginning of spring term every year. An email explaining the SOAR process is sent to group email accounts. The process includes an audit of your group's OrgSync page and an online survey. At SALP, we provide support to a wide variety of organizations. These organizations are then grouped into categories based on a series of criteria. The 4 categories are forming, recognize, department-sponsored, and affiliate. All groups start out as a forming group and then work their way towards becoming one of the other group categories. SALP allows new groups to form at any time of the year. An advisor may designate a student organization as a forming organization if they missed specific deadlines or need extra time to address questions or concerns brought up during the recognition process. In order to form, the student organization has to meet all the criteria of a student organization. They must have at least 5 current students as active members, and at least 3 of those students need to serve as the leadership for the group. Recognized student organizations are groups who have a defined mission or purpose. The organizations are completely student-led. Their constitutions, missions, participation, event planning, spending, and other decision-making must be dictated by the students and cannot be directed by an outside organization or non-students. They may or may not be funded by the Organization Budget Council. A department-sponsored organization is a student organization that exists within and under the guidance of a PSU department. The sponsoring department is responsible for supporting the finances, administration, equipment, and risk management for the organization. Groups are usually categorized as department-sponsored if the organization's mission and/or activities demand specific technical knowledge and expertise that surpass SALP's capabilities. The group's activities require department faculty involvement in order to be successful. Membership in the organization requires completion or enrollment in an academic course. The organization maintains a foundation account through the department and/or receives ongoing funds from the department. They are required to report annually to a national or international chapter, or the group's activities require a level of risk management beyond the scope that SALP can provide. Affiliate student organization is a group that is a student chapter of a larger regional or national organization. An affiliated group exists under the guidance of an outside organization or association. A group may be recognized as an affiliate if the outside organization sets standards for determining how the group functions, the mission and purpose, and/or a higher threshold for membership. The sponsoring organization is responsible for supporting risk management and setting expectations for finances, if applicable. An organization with SALP recognition, you have access to a number of resources and privileges on campus. In order to maintain your recognition status and be re-recognized for the next school year, every group needs to host at least 1 event per term, advertise all events and meetings on OrgSync in the Events tab. You can create a recurring event for your meetings. Make sure there's an updated constitution uploaded under the Files tab on OrgSync. Have at least 5 student members that have joined your group through OrgSync. At least 3 of those 5 need to identify as leadership for your organization. These 3 leaders must be enrolled at least half-time and have at least a cumulative and quarterly GPA of 2.5 for undergraduate students and a 3.0 for graduate students. Lastly, you must maintain communication with your SALP advisor. An advisor may assume that your group is no longer active if they haven't heard from you in a while. As a forming group, you may wonder what are some best practices to fostering a healthy group. Here are 8 recommended steps. Host an interest meeting. Gather contact information. Establish structure or lack thereof. Produce promotional materials. Meet with your advisor regularly. Do something fun. Plan an event. Know your resources. You have access to a number of resources through SALP. Every group has a SALP advisor who can help your group with goal setting, event planning, and team building. Your SALP advisor is also a great resource for navigating PSU's policies and rules. At the SALP office in Smith 119, you can check out art supplies, a button maker, or Chromebooks for your group's needs. You can also reserve display cases or bulletin boards to advertise your events. If you need space to store some of your group's items like swag, brochures, or banners, you can check out a locker for the year from SALP. Lockers are also free. Finding a space to meet can sometimes be a challenge on campus. At SALP, we have 2 free conference rooms that are available for your group meetings. In addition to what SALP offers, affiliate and department-sponsored groups can reserve meeting and event rooms through PSU conferences and events. The pricing for the rooms vary. Smaller rooms that you might use for a meeting are typically free. Larger spaces in the Smith Memorial Student Union and Hoffman Hall are billed at department rates, usually around $60 to $100. For the full list of resources available to your group and information on how to access them, please visit the SALP website or talk to your advisor. Establish ground rules, community agreements, or whatever you want to call them. Set concise, clear, and realistic expectations so members know what to expect and feel they can achieve success. It is important to engage members in the process of setting expectations. People tend to adhere to expectations when they understand, are committed to, and help create what is expected of all members. Purpose of expectations. Develops trust within group, ensures everyone has opportunity to have a say in the format of the organization, helps groups and individuals confront conflict, helps meetings run more smoothly. Clear, concise expectations drive actions and decision making, provides an opportunity for holding group members accountable. Questions to consider when creating expectations. How often will our organization meet? How will members make decisions? As an organization, what do we stand for? What are our values? What kind of environment do we want to create at our meetings and events? Some examples are using respectful language, ensure everyone has a chance to share their ideas, and attend at least 2 meetings per term. There are several ways to advertise your student group. You can make a banner to display in the Smith Memorial Student Union balcony. Need butcher paper? You can get that in the org space located just down the hall from the SALP Leadership Lounge. You can print handbills to pass out to students. You can ask your instructors for permission to make a quick announcement in class about your student group. You can reserve a table through conferences and events to talk to people about your group. Sign up for engagement events such as Party in the Park in the fall or Party in the Ballroom in winter term. Host events. Don't forget to use your OrgSync page to update your members and advertise your events. As a forming group, you are eligible to apply for funding from the Speakers Board or the Student Educational Travel Fund. The Speakers Board is a funding committee dedicated to bringing speakers to campus. Groups are required to submit an application in order to request funding. For more information or an application, visit the Speakers Board portal in OrgSync or their website. Student Educational Travel Fund is a funding board dedicated to helping students who have been selected to present at conferences attend those conferences. Students from each group can apply. More information and application forms are available through the funding board's OrgSync portal or their website. You are encouraged to apply for these funds at least 2 months prior to when you will need them. Those who receive funds must adhere to several very strict guidelines. Processing times may vary, and your group may need to complete several steps before and after your event or trip. Applying early will help to ensure a smooth process. Fundraising. While you do not receive student fees funds as a forming group, you are free to raise funds on your own. While these funds are not the responsibility of SALP, you still have to make sure you are doing so within the guidelines and policies of the university. A good first step is run your fundraising ideas by your advisor. They can help ensure that you understand what you can and cannot do, so please check with your advisor before fundraising. Groups have had success fundraising through ticket sales to events, car or bike washes, bake sales, and bake sales are quite popular. Others have sought funding through alumni networks. It may be helpful to connect with the PSU Alumni Association to see what support they can provide in this area. You can have sponsors, such as other companies or individuals. However, we encourage you to talk with your advisor before accepting sponsorships. The PSU Foundation also offers opportunities for student groups to raise funds through crowdfunding. Visit the link on the screen for more information. Try to sit down with your fellow leaders and think of some ideas of your own. You may be surprised by all the creative funding initiatives that you can come up with. This completes the training for forming group student organizations. For more information on any of the topics discussed in this session, please take a moment to browse through these resources. Of course, your SALP advisor is always happy to answer any questions you may have and offer support.